Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Ben Five. I know I'm on the side of my basement where I, do my my hobby videos, but I just figured I'd get comfortable for this video. Just have a beer. This is like the third time I've done this video because first time I was way too fucking drunk. Second time I just got a little I just started talking too much about other shit. So this time I want to do it. Now you can tell what the title is. This was requested. And I forget the user's name because, like, since Google Plus changed all that shit, where you can actually put your real name. I hate that, but people like it, whatever. But he was like, I think it mixes well with your politics and all the other shit you talk about. So I'm like, okay, cool, sounds like fun. Why not? Now, like I said, obviously from the title, you guys know what this is. The thing about music is that it's probably the most subjective thing on the fucking planet. Let's be fucking honest about that. I mean, I say even more so than politics. There are certain types of music that people just cannot fucking stand, myself included. Like, I cannot stand rap, and I cannot stand new country. Like, old country western, I actually don't mind. I actually do have a couple Willie Nelson CDs, and then there are certain other artists, from back in the day that actually do, I can listen to, like, I actually like this song. And rock, particularly rock and, like, a few other, like, subgenres of rock, they have, like, many other fucking subgenres. There's that one show at VH1, I think it's called Metal I forget what it's called, but it was like talk about the history of metal. It has that guy, he's like an anthropologist, and he's going into like the history of metal. It's actually a really cool show. Well, it's on VH1 Classic, I should say. VH1 fucking sucks now. I can't even stand watching it. Classic, it's hit or miss, but and it's weird because he's like doing like all these branches, like what branched off from what, and like this band is like this. Rock. There's obviously soft rock, there's hard rock, punk rock, all this other shit, and then there's even subgenres of that. But metal, it's kind of weird on a VH1. I used to watch VH1 a lot. On this one VH1 special, I think it was called Heavy. They were like, I think it was at the beginning of like the fourth part, or like maybe just after commercial break. There are guys like Kerry King and Sebastian Bach, Dee Snider, these big metal guys. They were just like basically rattling off like, this band is not metal, this band is not metal, this band is not metal. So it's completely fucking subjective. And I mean, in a way that I think that's good. Some people say, oh, it's all music, man. Fuck it, just music. No, that's not the way it is. In fact, the people that say that really fucking piss me off. And I've said this in the past. I think it's been a few years, so I probably have new subscribers. But, it always annoys me. I'm like, no, have some fucking standards. There's nothing wrong with saying, I think that song fucking sucks. Avenged Sevenfold, that's on Nightmare. Music, fucking great. Vocals, not too bad, but the lyrics are fucking atrocious. It's all about how, people who don't, believe in God, they're gonna go to hell and they deserve it, You should have known the price of evil and all that shit. So, yes, it's... Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I think it is cool that, so many people, they do have these debates. Like, and most metal fans, even if it's like, I think that band sucks, or I think that band's not metal, you can at least have a decent conversation. Pretty much, you can strike up a conversation with, like, any fucking metal fan and just be talking for hours about bands you like. So, the request was to do, like, a top 10. I think it was just, like, favorites, because the thing is, I don't like trying to say, like, oh, this is my list. Like, these are the top 10 most influential ones, because those lists have been out there, and people are always debating it. Because usually, number one, it's either Black Sabbath or Led Zeppelin, and people, will fucking argue to their heart's content on that. But, so this is just, like, my 10 favorite metal albums, because I really hate picking favorite albums. In some of these, I had to basically just kind of say, okay, I think I listened to that album more, so I guess that's my favorite. But, it's really hard for me to pick, and this isn't in any particular order, and I'm gonna geek out on this, so if you guys don't fucking care, then, that's fine. My feelings won't be hurt if you don't watch the entire fucking video. This isn't gonna be, a drama-filled video, anything like that. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, these are no particular order. It's not like, top 10, 10 to 1 or anything like that. I just had to write these down as I thought of them, and basically pick my 10 favorite bands of metal, and then my favorite albums. And like I said, sometimes that was easier said than done. Some of these are very straightforward. So let's go ahead and get started. One of my favorite bands is Typo Negative. I love that band. In fact, I thought it was funny that D. Landon Cole, yes, if you guys know who D. Landon Cole is, I said something about Typo Negative in one of my videos, and he said, I don't want to be me is a better typo. So I'm like, what the fuck? D. Landon Cole's a Typo fan? I never would have fucking guessed that. But anyway, So Typo Negative, like pretty much all their albums I like. Some of them, like Life is Killing Me, Dead Again, I don't think are as good as some of the others, but their albums for the most part are great. I love October Rust. That one took a while to grow on me, but once it did, I'm just like, wow, this album's fucking brilliant. Slow, Deep, and Hard / Origin of the Feces, which are basically the same album. Quickly, I'll go into a story. They were supposed to have a live album. That was part of their record contract, and I guess they thought it'd be funny because they're very tongue in cheek on a lot of shit. If they just re-record their first album, like change some things, like in fact some of the changes were good. I wish they would have left some things in on certain songs, like Gravity. There's like this in part that I really wish they would have kept in. But anyway, so because Slow, Deep, and Hard, the cover was a really distorted picture of dick going into a pussy, and I guess they thought Origin of the Feces, that'd be funny if Peter Steele spread his ass and it was showing his asshole. Couldn't do that, but that was the original cover. But they put on there not recorded live at Brighton Beach. What they didn't say was they re-recorded the album, but then they threw in effects of them and like I think some of their friends just like yelling at the band, taunting them, insulting them, shit like that. And the record company was not pleased with that. But anyway, when I was trying to expand my music repertoire when I was in a band, the guitar player always wore Type O shirts, and I was like, are they really that awesome? He's like, dude, I love them. So I decided to go to a used record store. I think it's called Buybacks now. It used to be called CD Warehouse. I think it was Buybacks when I got this. Only saw one Type O CD. It was World Coming Down. And I was like, all right, fuck it. It's the only one they have. I'll listen. Popped it into my CD player. I had a really shitty car, really shitty CD player at the time. And the first track is called Skip It. And the track, it actually sounds like your fucking CD player is just skipping. And it was a trick, and I fell for it. Started out the first track, White Slavery, and it's about his Peter Steele's cocaine addiction. Fucking loved it. I had to listen to it over and over and over and over and over again. I'm like, fuck, I've been missing out on this? This album came out in fucking 97. And just fucking loved it. And then I went to the next track, Everyone I Love Is Dead. I'm just like, oh my god. And every single fucking track I had to just listen to over and over and over and over again. To me, that's how you know you love an album. That is my favorite, even though Peter Steele said it was way too dark, way too bleak, but I love it. And to me, that is their best album. In fact, a lot of fans say that. Some people say, it's like the early shit that sounded more like Carnivore, so it was much more like thrash, like really heavy shit. But World Coming Down is definitely my favorite. Now, the next band, some people, they might say they're not metal. And it kind of pisses me off, and that is Kiss. Now, Kiss, besides Billy Idol, Kiss was like my first favorite band. I've loved Kiss for a very fucking long time. And it's funny because anytime I've gotten into like another band over the years, like, oh, I really love the Sex Pistols, I really love, Type O Negative, Marilyn Manson, any of these other fucking bands, I'll go back, you know what, I want to listen to some Kiss. And I'll listen, I'm just like, fuck, no wonder I love these guys so much. Now, my brother, he's kind of the opposite. He loved Kiss as a kid. He kind of outgrew it, which is fine. A lot of people have. They say they're a gimmick band. I mean, my brother didn't say it, but some people who grew out of it, they say, they're too gimmicky. And I will say, like, my first all-time favorite, my number one all-time favorite concert I ever went to was Roger Waters doing The Wall. I was so fucking lucky to see that. But the next three after that, 2, 3, and 4, Kiss. But Kiss has a lot of great albums, not just the makeup years. Carnival of Souls, that was a non-makeup album. That was fucking great. So was Revenge. But this one was hard to pick, because Rock and Roll Over was my first favorite Kiss album. I fucking loved it. But I think Hotter Than Hell, their second album, is the best. It's fucking great. Now, I have the cassette. I don't have the record. I'd really like to get that, and I don't have the CD, and I need to because my tape is all fucked up just from listening to it so much. But it started out with Got to Choose, and it didn't end with Strange Ways like the album did. Strange Ways was actually the second track. I'm like comparing mine to like my dad's fucking CD. I'm like, what the fuck? This is all out of order. But anyway, that album is fucking awesome. In fact, it has 2 just amazing Ace Frehley tracks, because Ace wrote pretty much the heaviest songs. And that is Strange Ways and Parasite. Those songs are fucking awesome. But all the songs on the fucking album are just awesome. I love that album. To me, like, that is their best. Like, their first 3 albums were like all early shit. It's not like a band where they have their first album is all full of the shit they've been playing for years and years and years, and then their second one, it's like shit that they just wrote. Kiss, they were lucky because they had such a big fucking catalog, and that's why so many bands, like, their first album may be awesome and then their next one isn't that great, because their first album they had spent all that time perfecting these songs. But Hotter Than Hell, fucking amazing. I love that album. Now, the next band, I don't even know what you would really classify them, like what kind of metal. Some people like German sex metal. I'm sorry. And that is Rammstein. Now, Rammstein, most people had the album Sehnsucht because that's one that had Du Hast. And honestly, I think that's one of their weaker albums. I think that, Rosenroll, and Liebe ist für alle da, like, those are probably their three weakest albums. I thought Herzleib was awesome. But the next two, besides the two I mentioned, it was really fucking hard to pick between these. Because Mutter, when I first got them, like, this album is fucking amazing. From beginning to end, fucking amazing. You know, it starts out with Mein Herzbrennt, and, like, a few other tracks, like Sviter, that's one of my fucking favorite Rammstein songs. Feuerfreu, Links to Dreifia, so many fucking great tracks in the album. But then when I got Rise of Rise, a couple of the tracks I can skip. Like, Los, I'm like, it's okay. Kind of Lust, I think it's not bad. It just, like, I like certain parts. But overall, Rise of Rise has more songs that just kick so much fucking ass that I'm like, I think I have to go with that over Mutter. Like I said, Mutter is great from beginning to fucking end, but Rise of Rise is fucking awesome. In fact, they had so many great songs for Rise of Rise that they're like, well, why don't we just release these? Which was their next album, Rosenroll, and that was pretty weak with certain songs. There's like one that had like English and like one that was like Spanish, and I don't really give a fuck. But, you know, that's cool that they did that. In fact, I wish more bands would do that. Like, fuck it, let's just release some of these other ones. Which a band I wish would have done that is going to be on this list. Now, next band. God, I hate when that fucking shit happens, especially when it fucking goes over the bottom. Anyway, Iron Maiden. Now, obviously, Iron Maiden has to be on this fucking list. Iron Maiden is amazing. I mean, I fucking love Iron Maiden. I can pretty much turn on any Iron Maiden album and love it. With one exception, like one singer, I should say, and that's Blaze Bayley. Even though I will say, in his defense, I think he sung Afraid to Shoot Strangers, which is on Best of the Beast. I think he sung that better than Bruce. I really do. I think he just had the right fucking voice for it. And it's just weird. I'm like, oh my god, he sounds better than Bruce, and that's odd to me. But even like the Paul Di'Anno years, like people, they kind of beat up on him. But I'm like, okay, Wrathchild, Phantom of the Opera, Iron Maiden, these are great fucking songs. In fact, Phantom of the Opera is one of my favorite Maiden songs. But this was a band, it was really fucking hard to pick, because Number of the Beast is fucking awesome. It was like the first Iron Maiden album I listened to in its entirety. Fucking loved it. Powerslave, some people might notice I have a Powerslave tapestry in the background in my other videos. And I even like Fear of the Dark a lot. I think Fear of the Dark is a great fucking album, but overall I had to go with Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. And the single from that, which I think is one of their best fucking songs, is The Clairvoyant. That's one of my, actually the guy who got me into Psy Pope, that's his favorite fucking Maiden album. And honestly, when I'm like, you know what, I just want to listen to some shit, like some cool Iron Maiden shit, and just like leave on the whole album, not have to skip around on tracks, that's what I usually, even Peace of Mind, I'll do that with too, but I think Seventh Son is better. Next band is one that people might badmouth me for, but I don't really give a fuck, because I think they're awesome, is Skid Row. Now, to me, Sebastian Bach is one of the best singers ever in rock, ever. Now, I think, you know, Freddie Mercury probably had the best voice. You know, Bruce Dickinson's awesome. Dio was definitely one of the best. But Sebastian Bach, he's awesome. And it just sucks. Apparently, the reason why he got kicked out of Skid Row was because Kiss wanted them to go on tour with them on their farewell tour. Sebastian Bach's a huge Kiss fan. In fact, Skid Row even covered a Kiss song, Come On and Love Me, on their little EP album, Beside Ourselves. And he's a huge Kiss fan, and the fucking bass player, I think he's a bass player, Rachel Bolan, was like, I don't want to do it. And Sebastian Bach's like, I'm going to kick your fucking ass if you don't. And they kicked him out of the band. So now they have some fucking guy that's... He reminds me of a cross between Kid Rock and Bret Michaels. He can't hit the fucking high notes. The way he talks, he sounds like a country singer, because I saw him in concert when they were with Kiss. But they need to get Sebastian back. Fucking assholes. I just don't understand why they haven't. But anyway, their first album was pretty fucking good. Most people are going to know the tracks I Remember You and 18 in Life. Those are, two of their biggest fucking songs. Pretty much the only two Skid Row songs you'll ever hear on the radio these fucking days. Even though back in the day you would hear their shit all the time. But their second album, Slave to the Grind, fucking blew their first album away. completely. It was fucking awesome. First off, it starts and ends with my two favorite Skid Row tracks and probably two of my favorite metal tracks, period. And that's Monkey Business, and then it ends with Waste of Time. Waste of Time is actually about Steven Adler, the drummer for the original drummer for Guns N' Roses, because he was all fucked up on heroin. But the thing is, if you didn't know that, you could really apply like those lyrics to a lot of different things, except for like I never thought you'd let it get this far, boy. But it's a really sad fucking song. It's heavy. It's pretty fucking long too, and I mean the album's fucking great. In fact, it's kind of weird because they had to actually cut one of the tracks because my dad actually has both versions of the tape, and I think they're still wrapped. They had to cut out Get the Fuck Out, and I think they put Beggar's Day on it, which that's still a good track too. But Slave to the Grind, fucking great. And that song is great. Quicksand Jesus, that was one they used to play on the radio back in the fucking day. Fortunately, you don't hear a lot of these good things unless it's like a request hour and someone calls in. Which locally there's a request hour, but people call and request the dumbest fucking shit. Instead of being smart about this, like requesting shit that they never fucking play, they call in. I am not making this up. Some guy actually called in like, "Yo, I want to hear Fat Bottom Girls." It's like, listen for another fucking hour and you're gonna hear it. I guarantee you. You hear that song every goddamn motherfucking day, and you just fucking wasted some time on this request hour. You son of a bitch. Yes, I get a little fucking mad about that shit. Anyway, next band, Judas Priest. Now, Judas Priest is another band. Fucking great. They have a lot of great fucking songs. In fact, some people say, like, I think they're the best, 80s British metal band. And to me, I say Iron Maiden's better, but people are like, Judas Priest, like, well, because Rob Halford. I mean, he fucking made the metal look. I mean, all the leather and chains and studs and shit, that was him. Now, that was, because he was gay, and people didn't really think about it, but, the cool thing is, like, yeah, he came out as gay, and a lot of people are like, I don't give a fuck, that's fine. Who cares? He's still an awesome singer. Iron Maiden's still fucking great. And by the way, they kick ass in concert. I went to Ozfest. My wife used to go to them every fucking year, and she, we started going out, and she wanted to go, and I'm like, well, Judas Priest is going to be there, so that's cool. That was the last one we ever went to, but all these other bands sound like ass, like Slipknot, fucking Dimmu Borgir, I think is what they're called, Lacuna Coil, or as I call them, Lacuna Matata, Black Label Society, but the only two bands that I actually liked were fucking Judas Priest and Black Sabbath, but Judas Priest, you could actually hear the fucking notes. It wasn't all super distorted and sounded like fucking absolute shit, but anyway, one little thing that pissed me off on that metal show, they were like picking like favorite album covers, and British Steel was on there. I'm like, what the fuck? British Steel? It's a razor blade. For fuck's sake, pick something good. Defenders of the Faith. That's fucking awesome. And my favorite Judas Priest album, Scream for Vengeance. That's really fucking cool. And they didn't pick either one of these. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? But anyway, yes, Scream for Vengeance. Generally speaking, because I have a few of the record albums, and when I'm, went to listen to a Judas Priest record, I'll throw that on the fucking turntable. So that was another hard one. I'm like, fuck, I can't think of what album I want to pick as my favorite. But honestly, I'm going to go with that because it is a really fucking great album. But next, we'll go to Ozzy Osbourne. And Ozzy, I've lost some respect for him because Jakey Lee, the guy that was in between the dead guy, Randy Rhoads, and Zakk Wylde, he went on to that metal show and he broke his silence. And he was saying, like, this and this and this happened, and he basically got fucked. In fact, Ozzy, I always thought Ozzy was a cool guy, especially when the shit happened with, like, Motley Crue. He had them on tour, and they got big, and he just tore up their contract, said, I'm not going to hold you back. I thought he was cool for that, but I've lost a lot of fucking respect. Apparently one of the bass players on their first few albums, he wanted like some extra money or some, the royalties that were owed to him. So what do? They re-record them with new fucking bass tracks. That's fucking bullshit. But anyway, the first two out, like, I think Blizzard of Oz is way fucking overrated. I still think Crazy Train sucks. I'm sorry. And some people are going to be like, what? I think that song sucks. Listen to the lyrics. They're really not good. And the main riff sucks. Like, the opening riff, and then the nano, that's cool. Those are fucking good fucking riffs right there. But the main, I think it sucks. I think that song sucks. I mean, the album has some good tracks, but second album, Diary of a Madman, by far best fucking Ozzy album in my opinion. Because Over the Mountain, that's still a fucking just heavy ass song. And the title track, oh my fucking god. That song is amazing. That is one of my favorite metal tracks ever, period. That's top fucking 3 easily. And apparently, it's because Randy Rhoads, he was trying to become a better guitar player, so he was trying to learn how to play classical guitar. So that's why he was like fucking around. He wrote that song, and I've learned parts of that song, but it is fucking hard. Apparently, all these people are like, it was ripped off of this song. No, listen to them back to back, and it's not like that fucking Avril Lavigne situation, like where it's, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. Versus, hey, you, I want to be your boyfriend, and some musicologists or whatever listen, and they are nothing alike. Yeah, right, they're nothing alike. Get the fuck out of here. But Diary of a Madman, fucking amazing. And that's another thing I lost respect for. Like, apparently they were trying to tell Ozzy how to sing it in that way, and he had no idea what they were trying to fucking say. So that really pissed me off. But Ozzy still has some awesome fucking tracks, solo and with Black Sabbath. Which brings me into the next fucking band on this list. Black Sabbath. Now, if Rob, Unseen Perfidy, watches this, he's probably going to be so fucking mad at me that I didn't pick a Dio album for Black Sabbath. And I'm sorry, Rob. I love Dio. I love the Dio Black Sabbath years. But I'm going to have to go with an Ozzy album on this, and that's Sabotage. And mostly, like, it has 2 of my all-time favorite Black Sabbath songs. Because, I mean, I think Iron Man I listen to way too fucking much. Same with Paranoid. The track Black Sabbath, I think the way Typo Negative did it. If you guys have time, look up Black Sabbath's Typo Negative's Black Sabbath cover. Fucking creepy, scary, dark. I didn't think the fucking original track could get any darker. But Sabotage has The Thrill of It All and Am I Going Insane? Which, quick little thing about that. For years, I didn't know this. They said, Am I Going Insane? And in parentheses, radio. I'm like, what the fuck is that? My dad's like, probably it's a radio edit. But like, so is there an original version where they didn't cut something out? He's like, I don't fucking know. Because I have the original fucking record. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I looked it up. It means radio rental. Apparently that's something they use, like a term they use for crazy people. I don't know. But that's apparently where that comes from. So, little bit of geek trivia. But honestly, when it comes to Black Sabbath, I am glad that for years, until Dio died, they had Black Sabbath with Ozzy, and then Heaven and Hell with Dio. That's fucking cool. And by the way, I do have Heaven and Hell, and I have a few other Black Sabbath records. I'm trying to think of what other Dio ones I have, but, the Dio years were fucking awesome, but I gotta go with Sabotage on this one. So, next band, who was one of my favorite fucking bands growing up, is Marilyn Manson. Now, first time I heard Marilyn Manson was in 1994. The first fucking track I ever heard was Cake and Sodomy. This is right after Portrait of an American Family came out. I think right before Smells Like Children. I'm like, oh my god, this is like some fucking scary shit. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I was mostly listening to 80s metal and fucking Kiss. And it's like, what the fuck is this? And I just loved it. But, Manson, I mean, and honestly, like, the past few years I've just kind of gotten over a lot of Manson's newer shit. I mean, that's not to say his old shit, like, I've gotten over it. No. It's just, like, some of his newer shit, like, I listen to, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. Then I'm like, it's not that great. But Portrait of an American Family, fucking great. The Amazing Atheist said, oh, it's kind of funny to hear it because you have everything. No, it's not. It was just they were going for a punk sound, and I think they succeeded. There's still plenty fucking great tracks on that album. Smells Like Children doesn't count. There's 3 original tracks on it. But, Antichrist Superstar, fucking great. In fact, in my opinion, it's the best industrial album of all time. And they're not even an industrial band. Maybe that's because Trent Reznor had a pretty big fucking influence on him, and he was actually helping work on the album. Mechanical Animals, fucking awesome. Love that album. The more I listened to it, the more I just fucking loved it. Had some really depressing, dark songs. Loved it. But, their best track, in my opinion, their best album, in my opinion, is Hollywood. Hollywood, 19 fucking tracks. And apparently they had like 30 or 40 fucking songs for this album, and I wish they would have released them. Hollywood, it's not perfect. I think Lamb of God is a little weak. I understand, like, for the point of the story, even though, like, Manson said, oh, I knew when I was writing Antichrist and Mechanical Animals, there was a story. Bullshit. He's just trying to fucking force that, I think, because he's trying to be an artist. But, Hollywood, just fucking great. It really fucking was. And it just sucks that they didn't continue that direction. John 5 left, soon after that. Twiggy was gone right after that album, and it fucking sucked. because those were, I think, the best songwriters in the band. But Hollywood, fucking great album, just amazing. Love that fucking album, and I can still listen to it like, man, this is badass. Now, the last band on the list is Metallica. Now, some words about Metallica. First off, they're like, Metallica fans are like Kiss fans where they will never fucking leave. You know, like they were saying, nope, this is, even their albums that suck, like Saint Canker or Saint Anger, it sucks. But even like the diehard Metallica fans are like, oh, this track and this track, they're not too terrible. It's like, no, they suck. That song, Saint Anger, it won all those awards. It's like, yep, you know it sucks. And I'm not saying that people that get, recognized for their work, it just automatically means it sucks, because that's not the fucking case. Some singles that are really popular, and that doesn't mean it sucks. It's just, because I'm not one of those fucking people like, oh, like underground shit, man. I like shit that no one else listens to. Oh, fuck off. You like that shit because you want to. Because you want to be fucking different. But Saint Anger fucking sucked. Even like, what was that last album? Death Magnetic. It wasn't that fucking great. But, like that, The Day That Never Comes. I remember when that track first fucking came out, they were on the radio like, it's coming. It's coming. It's going to be here. We're going to play it. You guys are going to hear it. It's going to be awesome. And I heard it, and then, like, the beginning of the song, it's like, this sounds like shit from, like, the Load and Reload years. And then, like, there's that really heavy part. I'm like, they could have been doing this fucking shit the entire time. Why didn't they? But, I mean, and then, like, the album is over compressed, and it's just, and then, Lars, I really don't understand why, so many people are, complaining about, like, the way it sounds. I listened to it in my fucking car, man, and it just sounded fucking amazing. I don't see why people are doing that, man. It's like, oh, fuck off. There's, and then a few years later, he's like, well, not years, but like a few months later, he's like, yeah, I'm aware there's a problem. No fucking shit you're aware, you asshole. You've been doing this fucking shit forever. Fucking bastard. But anyway, I will say, Metallica, they have a special place in my heart. Like, there are certain albums that are just fucking great. Everything from Kill 'Em all the way to Injustice for All, they're really fucking great albums. Even the Black Album, like, I think there's a few really good tracks in that, but it really, honestly, it's like, what the fuck? If you listen to the first 4 albums, then you go to that, you're like, really? That's the direction you went? And my opinion, my theory is that with 1, they got that little fucking taste of fame. They got that little fucking taste. And like, oh fuck, man, this is great. We're like, 'cause even Teacher's like fucking 1. But they decide to go, fuck it. Let's make all these songs, accessible and easy to swallow. So they did an entire fucking album. Like I said, there's a couple good tracks on there. I think Wherever I May Roam, that's still a pretty good fucking song. I think My Friend in Misery is better. I think that's probably the best track on the album. The God That Failed, that's a pretty good one too. But and then the Load and Reload years, I mean, at first I'm like, this fucking sucks. Fuck them. I hate this fucking band. Fuck them. Cut their fucking hair, and I was so fucking mad. But I will say, lately, past, I wouldn't say 10 years, maybe like, 6, 7 years. I'm like, man, this shit's growing on me. It's not too terrible. Even Garage Inc. That was actually pretty decent. And then, with, the cover of Stone Cold Crazy, that was a good cover. And then So What? I mean, it's like, really, that's an interesting fucking song to cover. Because I don't know of anyone else who would cover that fucking song outside of, local punk bands. But even that S&M, like that, No Leaf Lover, that was good. But their first few albums, that was where it was at. Kill 'Em All, I think, it was like definitely that early shit. But, their next album's Ride the Lightning, fucking great. Master of Puppets, fucking great. And Injustice for All. Injustice for All is definitely like their most complex album. And I mean, because you just listen, you're like, God damn, they were really fucking trying with this. Like, they were really going overboard with these riffs and shit. But it was fucking awesome. Now, I think it's bullshit that they cut out like all the bass tracks. I guess out of respect for Cliff. But it's like, that's fucked up. I mean, why would you get another bass player then? Don't fuck him like that. But anyway, to say, overall, and I know a lot of people disagree with me on this, my favorite Metallica album is Ride the Lightning. Now, I think it's all about death. And to me, I mean, I'm a twisted motherfucker, so, I'm all into that. But it's basically my 3 favorite Metallica tracks are in a row. And that's Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and Fade to Black. I mean, it starts out fucking great. Fly Fire with Fire, that's fucking awesome. But it just, the whole fucking album is just great. Now, that's not to say, like, I think, like, oh, this is so much better than, Master of Puppets or Kill 'Em All and Injustice for... No, it just, that happens to be my favorite. Those fucking 4 albums are great. Especially, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Injustice for All. Those to me are, like, that's basically, like, the Metallica trilogy, in my opinion. It was just fucking... Those 3 albums are just great. From beginnings to end, they're fucking great. They were, when it came to that scene, they were, ahead of the fucking curve. Like, they were basically setting the fucking standards. And that's saying something. Especially since, their fucking drummer was completely shitty, and how that motherfucker stayed in that band for so fucking long is beyond me. Which, by the way, I just want to complain for a second here. It's kind of fucked up that they were mad at Jason Newsted for trying to help out a younger band. He was like, well, if I attach my name to you guys, that's already going to give you some credibility, and I'm going to show you guys the way this shit fucking works. I'm going to help you out, because I've done this shit. I don't have a wife, I don't have kids, my life is all about music. But Metallica, James is on to, he has a family, and he was on to hunting and shit, and Kirk was, he was going back to school, Lars was, I don't know, sticking bananas up his ass or some fucking shit. Who cares? So they were mad that Jason was going something. I think Metallica should be all you need, man. I don't understand. So Lars goes to Dream Theater. Dream Theater, some of the most talented motherfuckers in music, and he tries out for them. And first off, it's like, well, what's the difference between what you're doing and what Jason was doing? And then somehow he actually got the fucking gig. What? This shitty fucking drummer. Ask any goddamn drummer. And I used to fucking drum for a few bands. And it's like, he sucks. He completely fucking sucks. His beats suck. He can't come up with anything original. His double bass timing is pretty good from time to time. But overall, he sucks. He just has good sounding drums. That's it. He fucking sucks. I will say quickly on that same point about Jason, at least they had him, with them when they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That is cool, but then again, they could have had Dave Mustaine. He was the original fucking guitar player before Kirk, so why not have him too? Which, by the way, yes, Megadeth did make it on this album, even though I will say, like, the sellout albums from Megadeth and Metallica, overall, guess what? Cryptic Writings, which was Megadeth's sellout album, because, they had Trust, and that was, I guess, weak for Megadeth, a lot better than the Black Album. Sorry, that's just the fucking truth. But there are a few bands that did make it on the list, and I'm trying to look at some of the shit I have down here. Queensryche, I love them. Operation Mindcrime is a fucking great album. Even Empire. Even though my dad's like, they started to really puss out on that fucking album. Like, the song Empire is fucking great. Jeff Tate is, a very big conspiracy theorist, but, that you can like the work and not the person. But, Empire, the Silent Lucidity, it's kind of funny because my dad's like, I hated that fucking song for years. I always liked it. He's like, I hated that fucking song for years. But now when it comes on the radio, I'm singing along to it. I'm like, see, there you go. It's a good fucking song. So don't fucking bullshit yourself. Guns N' Roses, I don't know. Like, some people don't consider them metal. I don't know what they consider themselves. And I'm not talking about the current incarnation, because Guns N' Roses, the name came from 2 bands, because they basically merged and became one band. It was LA Guns and Hollywood Rose, Guns N' Roses. But, I'm sorry, just because you have Axl, that does not mean that you are that band. I mean, that's like having fucking Mike Graves, and he's billing his band as the Misfits. Like, yes, you used to be in that band. That does not mean that the band is that. It's just you. I'm sorry, but Slash, Duff, these guys had a lot to fucking do with the sound. But, I mean, there's so many bands that, I wanted to throw on there. But I'm like, fuck, I really have to pick what I think are the best. And, you basically have to draw the line somewhere, because I could probably go 30 favorites. But I just wanted to do 10, especially because I knew what I would do in this fucking video. I knew I'd just fucking go into way too much detail and just talk and talk and talk and geek out and all this shit. But that's because I love it. I mean, metal fans, we love this shit. I mean, we listen to it, we're just like, this is fucking awesome. I wouldn't say it's like a way of life, but in a way it is. You really look at this, you're like, this is my shit right here. Because it's either love it or hate it. And I think even, people that go like kind of professional, they still fucking love it. They're like, this is still my shit right here. They're not fucking listening to Barry Manilow. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I listen to metal when I was young. Well, some people did, and I think they're fakes. But, you know, I'll say, like, you know, there's certain bands that I just think are way fucking overrated. And, like, one of those bands, AC/DC. I like the Bon Scott years, and that's pretty much it. The shit after he died, I'm like, this is weak. It all sounds the fucking same. It's funny because my old boss, he just bought their album, what is that, Black Ice, one of their last albums. And we listen to it, I'm like, every fucking song sounds the same. You don't like it? No, not really. Every fucking song sounds the goddamn same. And the fucking Rock and Roll Train, I think that song sucked. I'm sorry, but when all of your fucking songs are about rock and roll is not dead, rock and roll will prevail, rock and roll is fucking great, rock and roll is this, rock and roll is that, rock and roll can solve all your fucking problems, rock and roll is gonna fucking make the world better. Okay, I get it. I fucking get it. Write some other fucking shit. And one band I did leave off was, even though I do love this band, is Led Zeppelin. But I don't know. I don't know if I really consider them metal. They were like one of the first really heavy guitar bands. But I don't know. I mean, it's just, to me, they're more hard rock. But I do love that fucking band. I have actually quite a few of their fucking records. But even like their weaker shit from like In Through the Outdoor. Fucking good shit. Like All of My Love, I love that fucking song. I really do. That's one of my favorite fucking Led Zeppelin tracks. But anyway, you know, like I said, there's so many bands I had to leave off. You know, I can't really put everyone on here unless all I did was just list them. I'd say really quickly why I like the band. So, but I figured I'd take a break from like all like the kind of dramatic shit for a little bit because I have a lot of shit that I need to get off my fucking chest. But anyway, I had fun doing this video. Like I said, it was like the third fucking time I've done it because just something about it I just didn't like every fucking time I did it. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and you know, hopefully you guys don't disagree with my list too much. But anyway, this is Bad 5, and I'll see you guys next video.